For centuries, we've been told that hell has one ruler, a single devil, horned and crowned, seated upon a throne of fire. But what if that was never the truth? What if hell was ruled not by one, but by seven? Lucifer, the fallen angel, crowned in pride. Mammon, cloaked in molten gold and endless greed. Leviathan, the serpent of envy, scales glistening from the abyss. Satan, burning with wrath, fists clenched in eternal fire. Asmodeus, alluring in crimson lust. Beelzebub, bloated in gluttony, wings buzzing with decay. And Belphegor, drowned in sloth and decay. Together, they are the seven princes of hell.
Sloth.
Lucifer, pride. And among them all, one shines darker than the rest. The first to fall, the brightest light turns shadow. Lucifer, once the morning star, now the eternal prince of pride. Once, he was the most radiant of angels, the morning star, the light bringer, heaven's most perfect creation. But pride took root in him. He would not bow even to the throne of heaven itself. And so, he fell. Cast down with his followers, light turned to fire, wings turned to ash. But the abyss did not break him. The flames crowned him, and from ash he rose, the prince of pride. Upon black stone and fire he built his throne, not of grace but of shattered glory. Every act of arrogance, every hunger for worship, every refusal to bend, all of it fuels his kingdom. Pride builds empires, and pride destroys them. It topples kings, ignites wars, blinds the mighty. Even now, pride thrives in mirrors, in screens, in the endless hunger for praise. Lucifer's beauty was never lost. It was twisted, light into vanity, glory into arrogance. And so he sits, the first prince of hell. But pride is never satisfied. Every shadow of arrogance, every whisper of vanity, they all lead back to him. Pride is not only power, it is also prison, an endless hunger never filled. Lucifer is pride eternal, the first to fall, the first to rise as a prince of hell. But his hunger opens the way for another. From the ashes of arrogance comes the glitter of greed. Mammon awaits. Mammon, greed. From the ashes of pride rose another throne, not fire, but molten gold. Upon it sat Mammon, gaunt and gleaming, crown of jewels melted into flame. His pale skin shimmered with a golden hue, thin and stretched like beaten metal. Long black hair fell across jeweled armor, cracked open with veins of ember light. His golden eyes burned with hunger unending, never quenched, never softened. Around him rivers of treasure flowed, molten streams carrying crowns and coins. Mountains of wealth climbed into darkness, stacked higher than mortal kingdoms. To kings he whispered, "Take this crown, and your empire shall never fall." But every crown he gave dripped with fire, burning thrones into glittering dust. Statues of mortals stood frozen in gold, hands raised, chained to endless desire. His spear of greed was forged from crowns, dripping fire at its glowing point. When he breathed, golden mist spilled forth, and mortals hardened into statues of wealth. Temples rose not of stone but of coin, altars stacked high with molten offerings. Every market, every bargain whispered his name, for Mammon owned every deal. But greed devours itself, collapsing into envy, and in the abyss of envy waits Leviathan. Leviathan, envy. From the ruins of greed, the abyss awakens, and Leviathan stirs beneath the waves. Leviathan, the serpent of envy, coils in silence, feeding on bitterness eternal. His scales shimmer like emerald flame, each one reflecting envy without end. He wraps himself around kingdoms, squeezing until stone shatters and voices fade. Envy is never silent. It whispers, comparing, consuming, until nothing remains whole. His breath clouds the waters, a green mist that stains everything it touches. Where envy dwells, no bond endures. Love, loyalty, and trust all dissolve. Envy feeds on comparison, a poison dripping like salt into open wounds. Ancient scriptures spoke of Leviathan, the sea monster none could master or tame. Medieval tales cast him as the serpent of jealousy, devourer of men's joy. His coils strangle ambition, drowning hope beneath the weight of another's success. Envy never satisfies. It gnaws, hungers, and grows more hollow with each feast. The ocean itself is his cathedral, its hymns sung in storms and crashing waves. Every drop of envy feeds him, every jealous glance strengthens his endless coils. And when envy boils into fury, coils unravel into fire. Thus awakens Satan. Satan, wrath. From the abyss of envy, fire erupts, and Satan rises crowned in fury. Satan, the Prince of Wrath, is no whisper, he is the roar of storms. His fists are hammers of fire, striking not stone, but the hearts of men. Wrath is lightning, chained in flesh, a storm that never finds release. Where Satan walks, mountains split, seas boil, and skies burn red with fury. His voice is thunder without words, shaking caverns, stirring fire into restless storms. Wrath has no patience. It burns bridges, turns allies to ash, and kingdoms to ruin. Every ember upon his skin is a memory of anger, burning yet never consumed. Ancient tales called him the fire below the mountain, rage hidden in silence. In every storm his shadow lingers, lightning his crown, and fire his endless hymn. His fury is a furnace, melting stone and bending iron with invisible heat. Wrath is no blade, but a storm, breaking walls, shattering silence, burning skies. Legends say his footsteps echo in earthquakes, the ground trembling with rage. His anger is endless flame, not quenched by rivers, not silenced by stone. And when wrath fades, its embers smolder into desire. Thus stirs Asmodeus. Asmodeus, lust. From the embers of wrath comes velvet shadow, and Asmodeus steps into desire. Asmodeus, prince of lust, wears beauty as a weapon, desire as his crown. His presence is perfume in the air, unseen yet shaping every breath around him. Lust does not shout, it whispers, it beckons, it promises what cannot be held. Every glance is a chain, every smile a door, every touch a consuming flame. Desire flows from him like water, carving paths through even the strongest stone. His throne is not iron but longing, built from promises whispered in the dark. Where he passes, temples rise, not to gods, but to desire without end. Lust is not touch, it is hunger, a fire that burns without consuming the flesh. His power is reflection. Every gaze becomes a mirror, every heart a flame. Desire grows like vines, wrapping stone and soul, soft yet unbreakable. Ancient texts call him the corrupter, not of flesh, but of longing itself. His gift is illusion, desire made visible, tempting mortals into their own shadows. Every empire has bowed to him, not in chains, but in silken threads of longing. And when desire fades, hunger remains, gluttony swelling in the shadow of Beelzebub. Beelzebub, gluttony. From fading desire rises hunger, and Beelzebub swells in shadows of decay. Beelzebub, prince of gluttony, is not appetite, he is hunger without end. His breath thickens the air, a swarm of insects clouding vision, smothering silence. Gluttony is not fullness, but emptiness that devours even when nothing remains. Around him, abundance turns sour, banquets rot, and treasures collapse into dust. His wings hum like endless hunger, vibrating with a chorus of restless insects. Gluttony is gravity, pulling all things toward itself, leaving nothing untouched. His throne is not stone, but refuse, crowns broken, goblets tarnished, idols in ruin. Gluttony transforms abundance into decay, feasts into famine, fullness into rot. His breath is corruption, not death, but a slow fading of all sweetness to dust. Ancient texts called him the Lord of Flies, master not of death, but decay. His hunger is not for food, but for devotion drained until nothing is left. Gluttony is reflection twisted. What was once treasure now mirrors only ruin. Around him, silence swells. No music, no laughter, only the hum of decay. And when hunger sleeps, sloth awakens, Belphegor rising with chains of apathy. Belphegor, Sloth. When hunger fades, silence deepens, and Belphegor sinks into chains of apathy. Belphegor, Prince of Sloth, rules not by fire or storm, but by stillness. His throne is neglect itself, stone cracked, banners rotted, silence heavy as stone. Sloth is not rest, it is weight, pressing every breath, drowning every flame. Around him, time drags slow. Fires dim, waters still, voices fade into nothing. His breath is a sigh that bends mountains, yet builds nothing, leaves only stillness. Sloth is not peace, it is decay, where dreams sink and voices are silenced. Around him, torches fade, music dies, the very air thickens with exhaustion. Belphegor's throne is stillness itself, carved not by hands, but by neglect. Sloth is not rest, but the weight that smothers fire, leaving only embers. His domain is not fire nor storm, but silence, stretching into eternity. Even time itself grows weary here. Hours stretch, moments dissolve into haze. Sloth is not silence alone. It is surrender, the fading of will itself. Legends say kingdoms rot under his gaze, not burned, but slowly abandoned. And when apathy reigns, pride stirs again. Thus the circle of sin completes. We have walked through shadows and silence, through fire, storm, hunger, and desire. We have seen the 7 faces of sin: pride, greed, envy, wrath, lust, gluttony, and sloth. Not as parables on a page, but as living empires carved into the bones of myth itself. And perhaps you felt it too, that these are not just demons of old, but whispers that still breathe within us. The hunger for more, the anger we bury, the silence that weighs too heavy. The princes of hell are not far away. They are here, in the choices we make, in the worlds we build, in the shadows we cannot escape. But knowledge is a light in darkness, and the deeper we understand these myths, the stronger we become against them. So if this journey stirred something in you, a question, a fear, a fascination, do not let it end here. Join us, subscribe, and share this descent into forgotten truths, because the story is not finished, and the next chapter waits in the shadows.